Okie dokie. So this is a really, really interesting thing. It came through on Weekend Today, Nine Network, and I really want to show it, but they might claim it and try and take it down. So it's basically one of the first cases I've seen where they've interviewed somebody who's gone through the whole coronavirus process, come out the other end. So there's some really interesting information. So I'll play it. I'll try. If I stop it a few times, it's only because I'm trying to do commentary and split it up, so it's more fair use. So just excuse me if I know people get pissed off because I chop it and stop the video all the time. That's the reason behind it. It's got more chance of staying up if I chop it. So here we go. Let's have a look, because it's very interesting what some of the things he says, and some of the things he says are a little bit ridiculous, and I'll point those out too. Here we go.
Well, the nation is stockpiling toilet paper and avoiding human contact as we fear the spread of coronavirus.
Well, most of us understand it can be an extreme case of the flu, presenting similar symptoms to SARS. One man who has experienced what it's like has come out of the other side to tell his story.
So he's from Wuhan. So there we go. So it looks like a downtown Wuhan. So this must have been taken. There's some people outside, so maybe this was taken earlier. Well, he's wearing a mask, but a lot of people in China do wear masks apparently, just in normal everyday life, just because of the pollution. So I'm not too sure whether this was after he recovered, before he recovered, or maybe during his recovery. But here we go. Very interesting, this guy. Here we go.
The other side to tell his story. And Connor Reid joins us now from Wuhan, which of course was the epicentre of the coronavirus. Good morning to you, Connor. Now, you were actually diagnosed with corona, but I don't think you knew it at the time. How did the symptoms start?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed end of November, early December.
See, now that's interesting, because they've been saying that the first case was around New Year's Eve. So late November, that's bringing it way back. I don't think the Chinese CCP are going to like this. So there we go.
And the symptoms start with a common cold. The problem with coronavirus is it gets better before it gets worse. So from the cold, you will get better, and then it progresses to the flu. And from the flu, you get better. Then if you're unlucky, it will result in pneumonia. And that's the point where I got to, the pneumonia.
So he got to pneumonia. So that's pretty serious. That's like stage, 3. And if you're over 65, apparently you got like 20 times more chance of dying than if you're young like this fellow. Not too sure what his age is. Did they say? I can't remember. He looks about 30, I'd say.
Pneumonia.
Yours is an incredible story to tell. At what point did you realise it was more than just the flu?
Well, the pneumonia stage where I woke up and I couldn't breathe. That was the point that I thought this is serious. This is the time that I have to go to the hospital.
So yeah, his audio cuts out a bit, but he's got here symptoms including aching bones, burning eyes, and extreme cough. Well, the burning eyes could be the pollution, but yeah, aching bones, extreme cough. All right, something to look out for.
Okay. So when did you think it was bad enough to go to the hospital? When all this was happening, you thought that this is out of control here. I've got to get in there. Yeah.
Yeah, during that stage where I couldn't breathe.
You also had a cat that died when you got sick, and you believe the two were related?
No, they weren't related at all. I don't believe they were related. My cat died from feline coronavirus, which, although it's rare, I don't think that animals can spread this virus.
See, that's interesting. So maybe the cat spread it. Because he's it's definitely they're saying that it came from the pangolins, the little with the little scales on them, little creatures. First they said it was bat soup, and then it was the pangolins. And this is an interesting development, because that was very early on. This is very early on in the piece, and he's talking about his cat had feline coronavirus. So that's very, very interesting. That's why I wanted to put this up, because it's a very interesting interview. Brought up some interesting little facts here. So he's saying that he doesn't believe the cat infected him. wonder if it goes the other way around. I don't know whether humans can infect animals with it as well. So, not too sure about that.
Connor, do you know or have any idea where you got coronavirus from? Who from?
No, I don't. I live in quite a big city here, so there's so many people. And due to the nature of the virus is you'll have a common cold, and that's where you can infect other people. So I could have met anybody on the street, any random person, anywhere.
So I'm assuming at the time, because it was November last year when you were diagnosed, how were doctors treating you? Because we weren't talking about coronavirus then.
No.
Yeah, so I went to the hospital on December the 5th.
December the 5th, so we'll keep that date in mind. So he went to the hospital December the 5th.
The Chinese Medicare system, their medical system is very efficient. So on the 5th, I had all the tests done, and I had the results on the 6th. They came back to me and said that it's just an unknown virus.
So there we go, so unknown virus. So this could have triggered, I can't remember the guy's name, I'm not very good with Chinese names, but he's very famous in China, the one that was a whistleblower. That was around mid-December, wasn't it, I think?
They're not quite sure what.
Yeah, so the audio is sort of coming out, dropping out a bit. He's on Skype. They didn't know, he was basically saying they didn't know what it was. He went to the hospital, had some tests done, and it came up with just unknown virus. Okay, so audio is dropping out. Apologies for that. That was the original audio from the clip.
The line's a bit scratchy here, Connor. We're having a little bit of trouble hearing you, and we apologise for that. But what's your advice to people who are worried about contracting the virus, as indeed many people are?
My advice is people shouldn't panic. Panic's not going to help yourself, and it's not going to help people. Things like common hygiene practices, washing your hands. If you have to cough, coughing into the crotch of your elbow. Things like that. It's just being sensible with what you're doing.
Connor, we have seen...
So that's good advice. Here we go. So we've seen...
pictures of outside of the windows of apartment buildings in Wuhan. It's completely desolate. No one's moving around. What is it like there now? Are people outside their homes, or is everyone still indoors?
So now quarantine measures are still in place, and they'll be in place until the end of this month.
So basically we're at March the 8th this was done. So, yeah, still under quarantine. So you're saying they're still under quarantine till the end of March?
It is a case of there are not many people on the streets, and anyone that is on the streets have somewhere to go, and they'll go straight back home afterwards.
Yeah, can I just ask you finally, how do you feel now? Are you 100%?
Yeah, I'm fine now. I'm 100% healthy. Mentally wise, I've been in quarantine at home for more than 40 days.
All right, so 40 days. So we're talking February. Yeah, that'd be late January, maybe January, say 27th or something. It's very interesting. So just to get that timeline, so December the 6th he was diagnosed, and to go to full recovery it took about a month and a half, it looks like. So it's quite a long time.
So that sort of thing is not fun.
Did you think at one time it was over for you?
Life-threatening? No, because I'm a young person. I don't smoke. I don't drink too much. I'm quite healthy. But I can see if I was elderly or had pre-existing health problems, then it would have been much more serious.
Connor, do you know many people who have got coronavirus? Any of your friends?
Not my friends personally, but in my community, one of the buildings had 10 new infections, and 2 elderly people died because of it.
So that's a fair bit. You imagine how many buildings there are in Wuhan. Because that's what Serpent ZO was talking about as well, that a lot of, it's probably underreported, the number of cases. Because he was talking about one of his friends in a province which was meant to have 0 cases, and they sort of said the same thing. There was about 4 or 5 people in the same building as him that had it. So there we go. There we go.
So are you going to stay there? You're an English teacher. You're obviously fluent in both languages. You going to stay there?
I'll be leaving as soon as I can. But I need to.
A lot of people would understand that.
Yeah.
Connor, we appreciate you talking to us, sir. It's a fascinating story.
Yeah, and it's great to see you're in good health, and
Yeah,
hopefully you
well
can get outside and enjoy the fresh air, because that many days in quarantine would send anyone round the twist, I think. Thanks very much,
All
Connor.
the best, mate. Thank you.
What a story, hey?
Incredible.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
potentially one of the first people to...
Well, this is the thing, though. Everybody says, well, maybe, you know, coronavirus is not that bad, but it's certainly been bad for him, that's for sure.
Well, there we go. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. That's I wanted to put that one up. It should stay up because I did stop it quite a few times, and they need to timestamp any content claim. So hopefully I've commented enough on it that they won't issue a content ID on it. Fingers crossed, because it is a very good case study on how the virus evolves and how he went through it, the symptoms, everything. So it was very interesting, the whole thing. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.